All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Designing New Dragons. Join us as we create what may be your new favorite character. So, today, we are going to be doing our final Transformer. I know this has taken forever. I'm very sorry about that. Like I said, weird stuff going on in IRL. So I haven't been able to focus on this stuff, but I'm getting back into it. This is going to be our last Transformer that we make, and next week, hopefully, we'll do some G.I. Joes. And then the week after that, we will do our crossover characters, which I'm really excited about. And that's been the whole reason that I went from Power Rangers to Transformers and then to G.I. Joe, is so we can do those crossover characters. So I think with the conversations that I had with people in the comments of the crossover book, it seems that making crossover characters is a little bit confusing, which makes sense. Like Essence 20 in and of itself is a relatively robust and deceptively simple system, and each one of the games is a different version of the Essence 20 system. And so creating a way for you to kind of mix and match between three different systems takes a little bit of work. So anyway, let's get this final Transformer done. So far, we've I can't even remember the first Transformer we created because it was months ago. Then the second one we made was Link. The third one, again, I just want to try and do something weird. So I'm not going to come in with a concept or anything. We're just going to pick some random stuff and see what happens. So yeah, I guess the first thing we need to do is go POW! We've got our form fillable character sheet. So, I think for this one, again, because I want to do something weird, I think I'm just going to randomly choose two origins. So let me see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12. That's great. That means, those of you wondering, I always keep a set of dice right here next to my computer because I always need them, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, anytime you guys see me like reaching up here, it's probably to get my dice. And the set that I currently have right now up there's this metal set that I bought for myself. Ooh, there we go. I bought for myself when we moved to this new house as kind of a moving present for me. And I call them my dragon dice because they're green with gold. And the Green Ranger from My Morphin Power Rangers had green. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll twice on the D20. Obviously, if I get the same number twice, or not the D20, the D12. If I get the same number twice, I will re-roll because I want two different backgrounds, and we will go from there. So let's see. The first one I'm going to do, I got a 4. So the fourth background, 1, 2, 3, is a former senator. Well, that sounds interesting. So yeah, let's go. So influences, we're going to go former senator. So that's the first one. And the second one, just to get it out of the way, is a 2. Is a cube player. Former senator and cube player. That is an interesting career right there. Because the idea of celebrities getting into politics is not uncommon, especially in California. Because there's a lot. There's been quite a few different entertainers that have gotten into politics, like actors. Like Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became president. Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. Who was it? He was on SNL. He's a senator now. I can't remember his name right now. So, yeah, the idea of going from I don't know too many sports people that have gone from sports into politics, but I'm certain it has to have happened at least once. Fun thing, a lot of people don't quite realize, at least in the U.S., as far as sports are concerned, a professional athlete in general can never work again. Obviously, there are exceptions to this, but things like if you play in the NFL, by the time you retire, depending on how long you were in, obviously, if you only played for like a season, you'll probably be okay. But if you have a full career in like the NFL or the MLB or something like that, you destroy your body so badly that you can never hold another normal job again. Like you can't flip burgers at McDonald's or anything like that because you can't stand that long. And even office work and stuff like that, your body is literally destroyed generally by like age 30, 35. So like by the time you would get to my age, you would never be able to work again. Which is why it's so important not only for them to get paid while they're able to work, but also for them to invest that correctly so that they have money for the rest of their lives. Because they're just never going to work again. So that may be why there's not anywhere near as many like athletes that go into politics as there are like actors and stuff, because acting doesn't destroy your body. It has a weird effect on your mind, apparently, after seeing a bunch of nonsense stuff that actors do. And I am an actor. But it doesn't destroy your body anywhere near as effectively as professional sports does. So, yeah, the idea, though, of a politician going into sports after being a politician, I find fascinating. And the reason I say that is it is a former senator and cube player, because cube player is current, and I mean technically both of these are former, because now you're a transformer and you're fighting in the war. But I kind of like the idea that something that, you know, someone would go from politics and go, screw this, I am done with politics and everything, I am just going to go play a sport. I think that's really interesting. And if I don't put this die away, I am going to lose it in my chair. Another kind of superstitious thing I do is I always try to store all my dice with the highest number facing up. Not that it does anything, but it makes me feel like I'm influencing my dice. So, that being said, so yeah, let's start since I have Q player up. So Q player perks are you get an edge on social and smarts based skills connected to competitive sports. Additionally, gain an upshift on skills related to cube. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and copy this. And again, not particularly fond of how difficult it is. Wow, that's taking forever. And of course, oh, that's why. I don't have the right. Hold, please. There we go. Much better. Okay. So we're gonna put this under these perks for right now, and then let's go. Sports. We can get rid of the additionally. We can just go upshift 1 on skills relating to cube. We'll put a comma in there. Which one is a comma? There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. So, got that. Put a semicolon so we can put more perks there. And then let's go back to former senator. The perk for former senators, choose a deception or persuasion specialization. Whether or not you invested in that specialization, you gain an edge on skill tests when that specialization comes into play. So, we can actually just go to deception or, what was it? Deception or persuasion. I think I'm going to go persuasion. And I'm just going to go... because these are social. I just want to look quickly at the sample specializations. So deception, bluffing, disguise, distraction. Ooh, that might be fun. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go with deception. And the one that we're going to do is we're going to go distraction. We can just put that there so I don't have to put it somewhere else. Because, yeah, I really like the idea, especially on, like, sports, the ability to kind of distract and take get the attention of the other team to look where you want them to, or to focus on something while you do something else, is, especially in team sports, that is a really, really handy ability to have. So I kind of like that idea of a cube player that, you know, kind of specialized in distraction. That's kind of cool. From there, and that's 100% a politics thing. So yeah. And then I get to choose a hang up. So let's see what hang ups I can get from here. So Earth Spoiled, Impulsive, and Vainglorious are the cube players. And then Senator is Glacial, Idolizer, and Mode Attachment. What is... Alright, I am going to, again, the thing that makes this easier for me, because I can't actually remember things anymore. Drugs are bad, okay? Even when they are prescribed to you. There you go. Again, we're not leaving this here. I just have to put these here or I will forget all of them. So let's go to Hangups real quick. And let's see what these are. So, Earth Spoiled, I remember. It's basically, you're excited by and attached to the cornucopia of beautiful treasures on Earth. When exposed to a gorgeous piece of Earth, art, or culture, your skill test suffers a downshift 1. So that's interesting. Glacial, we already know about because we used it for Link. Idolizer. You have something of a hero worship complex. The hero you cherish and follow might be one of your teammates, or it might be one of the heroes of the many Cybertronian wars. It could even be a Prime or a Titan. Your willpower defense is 9 plus smarts. Interesting. So that literally just lowers your willpower defense. Impulsive, you're reckless. No matter circumstances, you never gain the benefit of surprise. Additionally, take a downshift 1 on your first skill test after you roll initiative. That's a rough one. That might be interesting, especially... So thinking of this character as we're building them. This is someone that was in politics, got sick of politics, and decided to become a cube player. To me, that sounds like a very impulsive kind of thing. So I think I like the idea of impulsive. So what it is... we're going to just see if I can get this to fit up here. Let's go that. Here we go. Better size. On first skill test after... Just go like this. After initiative. And I can just go never get surprised. No, that sounds like you never are surprised. Never benefit from surprise. There we go. Trying to get this as few words as possible just so it fits in here and it's legible. And that's about as legible as it's going to get for us. But again, eventually I need to kind of reformat these so they'll do multiple lines and things like that, like the ones down here. Because right now having them only have a single line is pointless. And a massive waste of time. So we've got that. So we're coming up with kind of an interesting character here. Former senator got disillusioned with politics, went to become a cube player because they were impulsive, and they decided that they could have a better impact on the world being a celebrity than they could being a senator. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, that's influences. Moving on. Next, we get to choose our origin. And again, for Transformers, Origin also gives you your bot mode and alt mode, which I really like. So, what do we want to use? We've been doing these kind of small, fast guys. I think it might be fun because again, on any in any athletic sport, there are a lot of different body types that, or at least team sports, a lot of different body types that kind of exist because different spots do different things. If you think about football, your linebacker is going to look very, very different physically from your quarterback or your running back or anything like that because they do different things. Linebackers are just supposed to be a huge wall of flesh. Quarterbacks have to have good arms and good hand-eye coordination, but they also have to be able to kind of lead. And running backs do exactly that. They need to be able to run fast and catch and do those other things. But so each one of them looks a little bit different. Same thing is true on like my personal sport that I love is baseball. And a catcher looks a hell of a lot different than a pitcher. Looks a hell of a lot different than like the third baseman. Like it's not nearly as big a difference. And power hitters definitely look very, very different than any of those. It's not quite as crazy a difference as it is on the football field, but if you watch baseball enough, you can kind of tell some of the positions that people play. Like pitchers specifically have a very specific look to them. And so I don't know what it is, but you can always tell a pitcher. Catchers, they're a little bit more varied, but pitchers always look like a pitcher. Cool. So what I think would be fun, because I generally don't like playing really big characters, because I am a very big person, and I don't like how big I am. And so I don't mind being tall. I don't like being fat. And so all my characters tend to be relatively thin, because if I'm going to create if I'm going to live in a fantasy world, I'm going to live in a fantasy world the way I want to be in it. So, but I think I'm going to go for the origin. I'm going to go monolith. Because again, I don't play big characters. And I think this might be fun. So, first things first, essence score, increase strength by 1. So I'm going to put 1 into my strength. Origin skills, monolith. You either can get brawn or might. Again, brawn is kind of... I'm going to forget it, so we're going to go there. Brawn. Yeah, the measure of your talents for prolonged physicality. So kind of a Constitution style thing. So yeah, let's go back to monolith. So we can either brawn or might. I think I'm gonna go brawn because it kind of makes sense with this character that they would be good at just kind of long-term physical exertion, especially if they're a cube player. So yeah, we'll go with brawn for that. Starting health is 4. Boop. And then languages, which I never do. Cybertronian English, because that's the only language that I speak passably well. At one point, I was conversational in French for a while, but I haven't spoken it in so long, and my brain is so destroyed now I can't speak any French, or I can speak very little French. I miss it. French is a pretty language. It's a fun language. Cool. So we've got that. And then there's an origin benefit, large and in charge. Choose a social skill. You get an upshift 1 on skill tests with that skill if the target is smaller than you. So I think... So social skill, I think we're going to choose deception. Because again, we have that distraction edge. So... do we have anything for origin perks? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to put it up here for right now. So... And it's not going to fit, and I know that. So with deception, the target smaller than you. And that's actually, that fits there pretty well. So, oh, and I'm definitely an Autobot. So, upshift 1 on skill tests with deception if the target is smaller than you. So that's kind of cool. I like that. I think we'll go with that. And then monolith bot mode. Our movement is 20 feet ground. Size is huge, which I don't have anywhere to put my size here. And then alt mode. Let's go all the way down to the alt mode. Size is extended. Movement is 45 feet ground. And then we have RAM. Range is reach. And then effect is 2 blunt trip. Cool. I don't need... Cool. So RAM, reach, 2 blunt trip. Cool. We had everything for our origin. Pretty convenient and simple. Now it's time to choose a role. So, moving on. Again, for roles in Transformer, we have the Analyst, Field Commander, Gunner, Mode Master, Scientist, Scout, and Warrior. We've made a gunner. I remember now. We had a Gunner for one of them, and then we had a Warrior for Link. So, if we wanted... Because it would kind of make sense for a Field Commander... to be senator, which is a leadership position in general. Like politics in general, you have to have some leadership skills, because even if you are the kind of rank and file of the Senate, you are still representing all the people that have voted for you. So field commander could make sense. What do we have for... Ambassador? Well, that would make even more sense. So we have Ambassador is one of the foci, and the other one is Strategist. Ambassador would lean super heavily into the former senator thing, which could be interesting. And playstyle for the Ambassador. When discussing with a creature of different size class, you gain an upshift 1 on intimidation and persuasion skill tests equal to the number of size class differences between you. That actually might be useful because it would go with what we already have for our origin, where we get upshift 1 deception. The target is smaller than you. Bend a knee or stand tall would also do that. So that might be interesting. Or if we go Strategist. Ooh, this is interesting. So, your unused backup plans are better than a lot of leaders' only plans. You can set a number of contingency actions as free actions up to your smarts score. Each contingency action must trigger on a different condition. Only one of these contingency actions can be used to attack. That is really interesting. So the strategist. So I think I've mentioned this before, and I did it when we were doing Open Legend for this. I like the idea of a reaction-based character, and I actually got to play that reaction monk that we created in one of the one-shots that we did between campaigns for Realms of the Wild, which is now Tears of the Realms. And it was a massively, massively fun class to play. So the idea that this cube player is a reactionary, I really like that. I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to call you a strategist field commander. And we're doing this 100% because of the strategize perk. Because that's incredible. So, strategize. Copy. Best. Let's go boom. Boom. Boom, boom. So that's kind of cool. And I think I'm just going to do that to make it easier. So, got that. Got strategize. Let's get the rest of the field commander stuff. I really, really like that. And that does mean that this is going to be a very smarts-heavy character, which might mean we want to focus on technology-based weapons and things like that for attacks, so they can take advantage of smarts as well. Overall, I think this is going to be very, very cool. So yeah. So the Cybertronian perk for the field commander is called Never Forsaken. I'm going to see if I can fit one more thing in here. I don't know if it's going to get too small. That's not horrible. And I think I'm just going to Never Forsaken. I like it better when I have it like that. And I go boom, 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 boom. So interesting. So we got that. Training, Strength Essence and Social Essence by 1 each. So let's go back. Strength Essence goes up to 2. Social goes up to 1 now. You get 1 rank and 2 skills from the following: Brawn, Deception, Intimidation, Might, Performance, Persuasion. So I think I am going to take the Deception for that. So I have something that I can roll Deception in. And then we could do Brawn again. Might. It's Intimidation. Yeah, Intimidation's another one. I don't mind having Intimidation on this for that. So yeah, I'm good with that. And then trained in limited armor upgrades and ballistic weapons and melee weapons. So let's go here. Trained, not qualified. Boom. Limited armor upgrades. And ballistic weapons and melee weapons. Boom. Boom there. So we have that in the gear section. And then we've got the focuses already. Oh, I forgot for Strategist. Smarts Essence by 1. Of course we do. I hope if I went to the right spot. So smarts essence by 1. Boom. And then alertness, culture, or survival. I like the alertness. I think that makes the most sense for... You need to be alert on whatever field you're playing in. So we'll do that. And then we already have a skill from that. Cool. And then issue command is the next thing, which is damn. So we're going to go down here. We can't put anything back in here, but we are going to put it in here. So issue command. Boom. Really? There we go. And again, I like it capitalized. Issue command. Boom. And they give a bunch of kind of examples of command, and it's just, there's just too much here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like there. So we got that, and then we have one final perk. Here, boom. Again, I don't know why I keep copying it. When I just retype it. Whatever. All right, so got that. I think that's everything for the character for the role. Yeah, so that's our role. Moving on. Now, again, thing with the Essence 20 system is your equipment is going to be just as important as your class and role, or your role and your origin and all that stuff, because it's going to massively change how you play, especially with your hard points. Now, as I mentioned before, when we were doing the link thing, I didn't realize that there were non-weapon things that you could integrate into a hard point. So moving forward, I think I am going to put a at least one support equipment in one of my integrated hard points for every character, because I just think it's that much more interesting. So yeah. So what do we want to do? We could do Caterpillar Thread. You can age on driving skill tests when you're in in alt mode, and then in bot mode, when shoving a creature or object, you count as one size larger, and you are treated as having moved 20 feet immediately before the action. That's kind of cool. A bull bar would be kind of simple, I guess, would be... Yeah, okay. I was trying to figure out what a bull bar was. And I think it's supposed to be a bull bar. But whatever. So yeah, just the thing on the front that makes you hard to go. This might be fun. So, this, okay, I think I like this. So, there is a support equipment thing called it's called a ladder. So you just kind of like a fire truck. You have a ladder on the truck, but in bot mode, the reach of your unarmed combat increases to reach times 2. So you literally can extend your arms to punch. And I think for a cube player, having an additional reach would be really fun and interesting. And that also means I'm making another monk. It is what it is, folks. I have a type, but I like the idea that you have extendy punches. Who wouldn't want extendy punches? Like, that's just great. So hard points. We're gonna put ladder as one of our hard points, and this is going to be integrated. And then unarmed reach times 2. Just to put that in there so I have it. So that definitely means we're going to want our unarmed combat to be something that we use. So let's go. Come on, I have to look for the stuff that I'm looking for. Athletics, might, finesse, targeting, technology. So unarmed combat. Interesting. All right, so hard points. One of our unarmed combat range. We're going to go reach times 2, and this is going to be external hard rate. Traits are blunt, martial arts, silent. Attack can be finesse or might. So we'll deal with that in just a second here. And then effect 1 stun. We're summon kind of 1 blunt. Wow. So we're going to downshift 1. So if I downshift 1, really? Are you just not going to work? Come on. There we go. So downshift 1 will give me 1 blunt. And then again, downshift 1 will give me maneuver. So those are the different alternate effects that I can have on my unarmed combat, which can be fun. So, your standard issue, blaster in a close combat, blade or bludgeon, and then a rifle or a shotgun. So I'm going to put a blaster in here. Let's go close combat, bludgeon, and then let's do a shotgun, because this is kind of a close target in general. So for the blaster, so someone that normally can like punch and stuff like that, the reason that they would use the blaster, more likely than not, is just going to be that they can't get close enough to actually punch someone. So our blaster is going to kind of be our range weapon in general. It's 25-80 feet. So range is 25-80, not 880. Hard point's going to be external. And then traits is going to be ballistic. Oh, attack. We haven't chosen that one yet, but attack for this is not something you get to choose. It's targeting. And then effect is 1 sharp. So we've got that. Close combat bludgeoning. It's going to be just reach. And I think this is going to be external as well, because I can't come up with a reason why I think that would be an integrated one. And then traits for that is just blunt and silent. And we haven't figured out if we're going to use might or... It's probably going to be might, if I'm guessing, because we already have some points in strength. But I might go finesse, who knows. And then the effect is 1 blunt with an alternate being man EUVR maneuver. So we got that. And then shotgun is 20 foot, 60 feet. And I thought about maybe making this, because if we do some modifications to the shotgun, that could be kind of interesting. So I'm gonna look at the upgrades real quick for just standard. Modular standard weapon. Choose a standard weapon when wielding a weapon with a modular standard weapon. Upgrade the weapon counts as both the upgraded weapon and the chosen weapon. Oh, that's kind of cool. Non-lethal. We could put a scope on the shotgun, which would be hilarious. Not a whole lot of stuff in the standard upgrades. If we go to limited, eruptive, deadly, explosive rounds, frigid galvanized, could go with piercing. A piercing shotgun might be kind of interesting. Oh, I think I like this. So we're gonna... just to make things cool and give a reason to use the shotgun. So, the Smasher weapon trait gives the thing the Wrecker trait, which basically means when you shoot something with it, you break, you destroy stuff. So, I'm going to actually read the description of what Wrecker does. So, on a miss, the area targeted becomes difficult terrain. Such weapons are a favor of the Autobot team of the same name. So, basically, if I don't hit somebody, I hit the ground and it destroys it. And so I do like that idea where I think all it needs is, right? Before I do this the wrong way. Weapon with a blast or area effect. I mean, yeah, this is an area effect. It hits multiple to the target. So yeah, no, I'm good with that. Even if that's not how it's designed, that's how I'm going to do it. So, so shotgun, we have, well, where's it? His stick, reload, wrecker. And it uses targeting. And effect is 1 sharp, 2 targets, 15-foot cone. And that's all. Cool. So I like that. I like the idea that he can punch and then he can also just shotgun the ground to make it harder for people to get away from him, so he can use his extendy punches. This is becoming a kind of interesting character. And trying to think, since we can have one more integrated, and I'm not really seeing a weapon that I think fits with the character, I think I might just go for another support equipment thing. So extra crew capacity, ladder, loader, pile driver might be fun. Pile driver counts as a close combat heavy bludgeoning. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him up a pile driver as well. So big thing with a pile driver. Helps if I spell it correctly. No range. But we can go back to here and just go close combat heavy bludgeon. And we can treat this as that. So reach is reach. And this is going to be integrated. And that means that's external. And then blunt, silent, and finesse might. We haven't figured that one out yet. So this will do 1 stun or 1 blunt, 2 hands. Because you need 2 hands to do it. What the? Really? All I wanted to do. Cool. So got that. Awesome. So I think we got that. Cool. So we got everything there. Yeah. I think that's everything, right? Yeah. So, moving on. Now, time for us to get our essence points. So, again, we've got 12 more that we can put in for a total of 16. So if we look at targeting is something that we're going to be using a fair amount of. So I think we're going to turn this into a finesse. So I think I'm actually going to put 6 speed. So that's half of them right there. For smarts, I'm going to put 4 there for smarts. And then 4 for social as well. So that's 3 and 3 and 6. And then we have another 2. So grand total, we should have a grand total of 16 points if we did it right. So we have 6, 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14, plus 2 is 16. We have enough. And now we just need to distribute things. We've already distributed these, so we're good with that. For speed, I think targeting, we're going to put at least 2 in there. Driving, I'd like to have something in there. And then finesse, I'd like 3. We're not putting any specializations in there. So 2, 3, 1, think we're going to drop down to that so we can have a thing in initiative, because I like having a point in initiative. For smarts, we already have alertness. I think I'm going to put 2 points into alertness, and then I also want to look specializations for alertness: insight, investigation, perception, situational awareness. I think I like the idea of insight being something that did I spell that wrong? Oh yeah, helps if I put those right. So insight. So that's 3, and we need 1 more. Let's give them a little bit of technology. And then for here, you already have 1 there. I think I'm going to go a specialization in that. So it's 2, 3. I need 1 more. I think we're going to... Yeah, I think we're going to go all in on deception. Just because we can. I mean, why not? And then let's do this. So 2, 0, 0 for 12. Evasion is 6, 0, 0 for 16. Smarts is 4, 0, 0 for 14. And then social is 4, 0, 0 for 14. Cool. And that really seems to be it. So, moving on to final thoughts. So the first thing we have to do for our final thought, we need to give this guy a name. So something cool. Cube. A cube player specializes in distraction. I think we're going to call him Hail Mary. For those of you who don't know, Hail Mary has a bunch of different uses, but when you're talking about it in like a sports situation, a Hail Mary plan is your kind of last resort. It's like, okay, we're gonna pull a Hail Mary. We're just gonna go for it. We're gonna do something really strange, and we're gonna hope that it works. And that's what a Hail Mary is. And so I don't know if you would ever have a Transformer that is named with such a religious, like the name Hail Mary comes from a Catholic prayer called the Hail Mary. And I don't know why, I don't 100% know why it was connected to a Hail Mary play. Because the actual prayer, I used to know some of it. I'm not Catholic, nor have I ever been. But I think the prayer, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Blessed. So yeah, you're literally just praying to Mary, which is the Catholic thing. They play to what are called icons. So saints and things like that you can pray to, whereas Protestant faiths you generally can only pray to God and Jesus. So yeah, I have no idea why that is, but it kind of makes sense for the character. So yeah, I don't know if this is the greatest name in the world, but I like the idea of a character being called. Is there a better Hail Mary? So, no. I want to see if there's a better term for that. Maybe we can just call him contingency. There we go. So we'll call him contingency. Because I don't like the just very, very religious aspects of that, because it can sound insulting. It can upset people, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, so this is contingency, the monolith strategist field commander, who is a former senator and cube player. Yeah, all of this is really, really interesting and for fun. And then you can see these are our scores, and then they our different perks and everything, and then we have our ladder. I did not realize that the support equipment section existed, and after learning about it, I'm like, I have to have this. I have to have all of these. They're amazing and wonderful, and that's what I want for forever and ever and ever. So yeah, ladder with a pile driver as well. This is a really strange looking vehicle. It's a massive, like, 16-wheeler, has a ladder on it, but also has a large pile driver for destroying stuff. So it is the ultimate. I could almost call it. So in the Air Force, one of their special forces are called. I believe they're called the Combat Commanders or Forward Commanders, something like that. Basically, what they are is they are designed to be airlifted into, basically airlifted behind enemy lines. So skydive, whatever it takes to get you behind enemy lines. And their job was to go to behind enemy lines and direct traffic, to be an air traffic controller behind enemy lines. So they could call in airstrikes and they could coordinate air support and stuff like that. And it is an extremely difficult thing to do, because not only do you have to be able to be an air traffic controller, which that in and of itself takes a lot of skill and learning to do, but you also have to be able to get behind enemy lines. And so it's these two kind of specializations merged together. And so I could totally see contingency kind of having a similar role for the Autobots, where their job was to basically blaze their way in to support everyone else. And so they'd use the pile driver to get through stuff, and then they would use the ladder to help get their allies or to get themselves wherever they need to go. And unlike something like a forward or a combat controller, I think that's what they're called. Unlike a combat controller, which they are much more kind of stealth focused, this is a more kind of balls to the wall. I'm going to go in, I'm going to make a path for all my allies. And I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, everything about this I think is kind of interesting. And I think this would be a really cool character. Otherwise, yeah, that is going to be all for me today. As always, if you enjoyed this, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to turn notifications on. All those things are super, super important in the comments down below. What do you see this character being like? I created this idea of basically a combat controller, but it is a weird character. So I'd like to hear your guys' theories as to what contingency actually does and what their alt mode looks like and basically their role. Because I came up with one, but I think this is a weird enough build that you can come up with a couple different ones. So let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, again, that's all for me today. I'll see you guys in the next time, all right? Bye-bye.